Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Irish Thoroughbred Marketing's Weekly Roundup. I'm joined here as always by Daithi, Harvey and Daithi. Let's talk about Cheltenham now. Racing out the weekend, a few likely Cheltenham Festival contenders there?
Indeed. There was 6 of the 7 races were won by Irish-bred horses, and it was a top class day's racing, so that goes to show you the level of horses running on the day. I suppose a lot of eyes were on the new one, and he didn't let down supporters in the international hurdle, and put up quite a smart performance. He's top class horse. He's probably quite possibly the best hurdler in Britain, and he deserves his place at the head of the champion hurdle betting. But he's a really good horse. He was part of a good day for Nigel Twiston-Davies and his son Sam. They combined earlier to win with Double Ross in the December Gold Cup, who was posting a great display for a novice and against handicappers in his first handicap. And there was also interesting performances from John O'Neill's horse, more of that, who's unbeaten in 4 runs. He won the Royal Ascot hurdle, a Grade 2 race. And also David Pipe's horse, King's Palace, who ran away with the 3-mile novice hurdle. He looks potentially a very high class horse, and one to look forward to as well. It's
the end of a year now, and we've compiled a small selection of personal favourites now from the whole racing year, both over jumps and on the flat throughout the world. The most natural thing is now to start at the Dubai Carnival, where especially St Nicholas Abbey's performance in the Dubai Shima Classic was blinding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a win that topped his or pushed his prize money, I think, over 5 million for him to become, I think, the most highest earner for Ballydoyle, and it's all the more poignant when you read and hear what's happened to him in the meantime. So let's hope he makes a full recovery. But a top class horse, and sort of capped a brilliant Dubai for Irish horses, both Irish trained and Irish bred horses. Over the whole carnival, I think the Irish bred horses were running at a 27% strike rate, which is phenomenal when you think of the amount of nations involved in the Dubai Carnival. It's a truly international event, and for Irish bred horses to be operating at such a level is brilliant, and I think. And let's not forget Irish trainers who had a great spell as well. Ger Lyons, I think, won the first race with Lily's Angel, kicking off the carnival. There was wins for David Marnan with El Laval. He also ran a cracker to be second to Lions of Battle in the UAE Derby. Lions of Battle, obviously, Aidan O'Brien horse. And overall, a fantastic carnival for Irish horses. And I believe there's a good team of Irish trained horses already prepping for next year's carnival. So let's hope we'll get some more results next year.
I think there's around 25 horses shipping, so hopefully they can bring.
Well, the prize money is brilliant, and why not? And it's a nice time of year to be availing of such prize money.
Absolutely. In March we had Cheltenham. What a great meeting for Irish bred and Irish trained horses.
Again, a momentous Cheltenham festival for Ireland, because it's the first time Irish trainers actually registered more wins over the 4 days than their British counterparts, British trainers. It was 14 wins to Irish trainers against 13 winners from British trainers. So an amazing achievement, and very hard to top that in the future. I think 20 winners of the 27 races were bred in Ireland, including a lot of the main races, the Gold Cup with Bobsworth, the Champion Hurdle, Hurricane Fly. Performances from the likes of the new one we mentioned earlier, Champagne Fever, Briar Hill, who's again gone on to further Grade 1 glory. So it was a stellar meeting for Irish breds, and roll on March 2014.
And like you said, in terms of next year's festival, if you look at the betting for the major races, we look to have a very strong hand.
We would think so, if all things being equal until then. Irish bred horses dominate the betting for the champion hurdle. I know a lot can happen. Like you take day by day with jumps horses. Like there's a high attrition rate with injuries, etc., and so much can go wrong. But it's shaping up to be a great festival. But a lot can happen in the meantime.
Absolutely. And that brings us into the flat season now. The classic season, where 9 out of 10 were won by Irish trained horses.
Yeah, in Britain and Ireland. Yeah, Irish bred horses. 9. Every classic in Britain and Ireland, except for the Epsom Oaks, was won by an Irish bred horse, which was it's stellar, really, isn't it? And another thing from the overall flat season that encompasses a lot of the classics is that every Group 1 run in Ireland was won by a different trainer, which shows the diversity involved, and how it's not remotely dominated by any particular camp. And I think that was brilliant to see.
Absolutely. And Royal Ascot was another great occasion. 6 out of 7 Group 1 races there were won by Irish bred or trained horses. A few cracking results there.
Definitely some memorable races, all right. Dawn Approach, Toronado.
Fantastic finish there.
Estimate and Simonon. So a memorable festival, and Soul Power, who was fantastic.
Sky Lantern.
Sky Lantern, she was very good there. So yeah, and a lot of them graduates of Irish yearling sales, a lot of them bred in Ireland, and a lot of them trained in Ireland. What better way to showcase Irish horses than at one of the best festivals in the world?
And actually, one of the horses that appeared at Royal Ascot is a magician who, in hindsight, Ed O'Brien admitted he shouldn't have run because he was injured. He turned up at the Breeders' Cup turf, and absolutely the most stellar field. He could be an amazing horse for next week.
Yeah, like he had at the speed to win the Irish Guineas earlier in the year, and then obviously being by Galileo, it gave him the stamina to win the turf over a mile and a half in America. So and getting on top just close home. So he's one to look forward to next year. Like he had a very sparse campaign this year. I think he ran in Chester, Royal Ascot, or the current Royal Ascot in America, so he should have more improvement in him to come even next year. So what a prospect for next year. And
then there was Cheltenham in the juvenile fillies turf. She came back from after winning the fillies mile at Newmarket. I mean, the way in which she just drew clear, what a turn of foot. She was obviously going the best turning in, and the turn of foot she produced at the end of that race was something we hadn't seen in any of her previous runs. And yeah, it was hard not to be very impressed with that. And it was capping a great season for her, Sarah Ifraj. The filly herself, Cheltenham, was bred by Ballylynch Stud, and Ifraj obviously had a major resurgence this year with Group 1 winners from Resina as well. So hot streak as well.
Hot streak, yeah, definitely.
She could be a lovely contender for next year's Classics, couldn't she?
Of course, she has to be. Yeah, like judging on her the way she finished out her races, you'd have to say she'd handle a step up in trip as well. But I'm sure surely she'd have enough speed for Guineas in the way.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Australia now, the Melbourne Cup. We had some amazing success there previously, with Green Moon winning it last year. Another Irish-bred winner this time round with Fiorente. We
couldn't quite manage to match last year's feat of IRE fold first 7 home, but we managed 3 out of the first 4 this year with Fiorente winning. Ballymacall stud bred horse. Yeah, it really just reinforced the fact that European and Irish bred horses in particular have an astounding record in the staying races in Australia, and I would imagine they'll continue to be much coveted after, and a huge market for such horses in the coming years.
And that shows in the buyers coming over for our sales. You know, Irish bred horses are in big demand, especially for the staying races out there. They're the leading shows, aren't they? Yeah.
As I said, there's obviously a huge market for horses that have shown form, but I imagine as those horses become harder and harder to buy, they'll have to sort of look beyond that and start going towards the source, more towards the source, and maybe buying them as foals or yearlings. So it's great to see such demand in that part of the world for Irish horses, and just goes to show what a global product it is.
And Champions Day was another great day for Irish bred and trained horses. We had Johnny Murtagh's Royal Diamond winning the long distance race. Olympic Glory absolutely demolishing the field in the QE2. And then second was Top Notch Tonto. It's a favourite of mine. He was bought very cheaply at Tattersalls.
3,000 as a yearling in Tattersalls, Ireland. So he's a superstar of a horse, and people love to hear stories like that, sort of rags to riches stories. And again, he has scope for more improvement. Like he was barely heard of at the start of the year, and his improvement was meteoric. And who knows? Brian Ellison is a great man, a great trainer, and I'd say he can get even more improvement out of him, and can't wait to see him next year.
I think he improved 20 pounds throughout his year.
And so I have to mention Slade Power that day as well. He was brilliant. Again for Eddie Lynham, capped a superb year for him. Obviously he was on the mark with Vistori and Doncaster earlier year, and obviously Soul Power represented him so well. So he's an enviable supply of sprinters at the moment. So.
Ran a great race in Hong Kong as well. I thought he didn't have the best of trips, and still managed to
he's a
super grab
tough horse.
A bit of the prize money out there.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, he's into now.
Yeah.
Dominant, winning the Hong Kong Vase.
We were fresh from the Hong Kong International last week, and we spoke a bit about it last week. And obviously Dominant, an Irish-bred horse won the Vase, and great, some great runs in defeat from the likes of Gordon O'Byrne and Simonon and Military Attack. So it culminated a fantastic year for Irish-bred horses in Hong Kong. 7 of the top 10 highest rated horses over there are Irish bred, and obviously the horse of the year this year was Irish bred, bought as a yearling in Ireland and Goffs. So another brilliant year, and it's going to be hard to match these achievements next year. So a lot to look back on with fond memories, and a lot of positivity to take out from it to looking forward to next year.
Thanks for watching. That's the last piece for this year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.